So the trash talk continues between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith ahead of their showdown on the 21st of January. You guys know that I typically tend to focus or try to focus on things that have an actual impact on the performances of fighters and the fights that they go into. I don't think this is going to be the case. I'm just doing a video on this because I find it funny. I find it entertaining. There's this trailer for the Gloves Are Off between Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith, and Eubank Jr. in his trademark troll fashion is taking shots and digs at Liam Smith, claiming that despite Liam Smith only being 34, I believe, he actually looks closer to 50 due to his grizzled, weathered face and grey hair. And Liam Smith followed up on Twitter, posting a picture that looks the best part of a decade old with him and Chris Eubank Jr. So this must be, I don't know, 2011, 2012, something like that. And he's claiming, or he's captioned the picture, "Let's not forget soft, you know what? You looked about 50 when you were 26 and with that daft hairline before your trip to Turkey." So Liam Smith, he's not hiding away. He's not shying away from taking a dig at Chris Eubank Jr. for going to Turkey to get a new hairline and beard installed. And yeah, it's all very kind of playground insults and silly, childish trash talk. But you know what? I find it funny in this instance. I know some people don't really like trash talk, but I look at both of these guys and they're doing it with a kind of wry grin on their face, especially Eubank Jr. We all know how that he will never shy away from trolling an opponent, from getting a reaction from them. But even Liam Smith, he's a little bit more serious here, and he seems to just have a bit of a twinkle in his eye. I know he's not the most charismatic person, but you can see that he's not fully serious. At least that's what I see. And for me, this just adds more entertainment before the fight. I'm someone who, particularly with Eubank Jr., his trash talk, I can take it or leave it. Sometimes I find him quite amusing. Some other times it's a bit dry for me, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not really feeling this punchline or anything. But you know what? In this instance, I'm amused, and it's an entertaining lead up to what I believe will be an entertaining fight, a decent fight. That being said, to talk about the fight, obviously I'll do a prediction video closer to it. Well, next week, basically. I am firmly picking Chris Eubank Jr. to beat Liam Smith, as I think most people are. However, I do factor in that Liam Smith is one of the more experienced opponents that Eubank Jr. is going to go in, because Eubank Jr., yeah, he's been in with Saunders, but that was before Saunders had reached world level. Saunders was close, but he wasn't quite world level yet when Eubank Jr. fought him. George Groves was an established world level operator and a world champion at the time, but he was a little bit shop worn, and he obviously retired after the Callum Smith fight, which was only a few months after the Eubank Jr. fight. And then there was James DeGale at the beginning of 2019, but the 3 years prior to that fight, DeGale was just taking so much punishment that when he went in against Eubank Jr., he was a shadow of his former self. But now we have Liam Smith, who has a similar amount of experience to those guys, but is a bit fresher than Groves and DeGale. The only thing is with Liam Smith is, even though he's probably going to be the most accomplished and most capable pressure fighter that Eubank Jr. has been in with, Eubank Jr. still does enjoy fighting pressure fighters. That seems to be his wheelhouse, where he's most comfortable. When you come to him and he's just able to reel off these crazy punch combinations and use his reflexes and be a bit more reactive. He's not really like a proactive long-range fighter. He's the opposite of that. Although there is some kind of development under Roy Jones Jr. And that's actually another thing that, I guess another headline that's come out recently, is how Roy Jones Jr., I guess, I interpret this as him, how do you say it? Roy Jones Jr. helping to get that psychological edge on Chris Eubank Jr.'s behalf, in the sense that he supposedly said, oh, there's this headline that Roy Jones says he's preparing Chris Eubank Jr. to take on the likes of Canelo and Gennady Golovkin, not Liam Smith, as if they're both looking past Liam Smith, not just the fighter, but the fighter and his trainer. So make of that what you will. I imagine that they are preparing for Liam Smith and preparing accordingly, but they still do have an eye on the future. So, you know, I think they're hamming it up a little bit to get under the skin of Liam Smith. Or maybe they just 100% in their heart of hearts believe that they're so superior to Liam Smith that they're training for Canelo and Golovkin, and Liam Smith just happens to be in the way, in the sense of this is a warm-up fight, this is a stepping stone fight. Who knows? Who knows how serious Eubank Jr. and Roy Jones are? But we'll tell by the performance, I suppose. But as I say, I expect Chris Eubank Jr. to win, and probably win big as well. But we'll touch on that next week with a prediction video. For now, let's just have a laugh at the trash talk in the lead up to the fight. What do you think? Do you, like me, find it amusing, or are you in the camp of people who just wish that the fighters would keep their mouths shut and save it all for fight night in the ring? Leave it down below. I'll get back to you. But for now, thanks for listening. I'll catch you in the next video.